Hi everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Rideshare Etiquette. This is episode 8. I'm your host JJ. I'll be with you for the next approximately 15 minutes, give or take a minute or two. It is May 31st, 2019, Friday. Wow, Friday, the end of May. Can you believe it? Tomorrow's June 1st. Where has this year gone? Don't answer that. It's a rhetorical question. Okay, thank you for listening. I appreciate your being here. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who have never heard my podcast before, this is your first time. Thank you. I appreciate your finding me. And for those of you coming back, joining me once again, thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. That means you like what you hear, and I truly appreciate that. So, a brief rundown for those of you who aren't aware, and for those of you who you are aware, just put your fingers in your ears and go, mum, 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 mum. Okay, all about me briefly. I drive for Lyft and Uber. I started end of November 2015 to start driving for Uber. Middle of January, latter part of January, I decided to drive for Lyft in 2016. I was working also at the time full-time for Walgreens, and so I was doing basically Uber and Lyft evenings and weekends, and I alternated between the two. And January 2017, towards the latter part of January 2017, I bit the bullet. I took the plunge. I stepped out of my comfort zone and quit working for Walgreens and went full-time with Lyft and Uber. Now we fast forward to November 2018, middle of November 2018. I decided to take a brief hiatus from Uber. Why do you ask? Well, basically because so many passengers in the past have always asked me, which do you prefer driving for, Lyft or Uber? And I couldn't really give a very good, informed answer to that. At the time of my stopping driving for Uber, I had completed over 4,600 rides. With Lyft, it was less than 150. So like I said, I couldn't give a knowledgeable response. And I decided at that time to focus solely on driving for Lyft. Yes, I'm currently driving for Lyft. Still, I am on sabbatical from Uber. If and when I get back to driving for Uber, created a new word there. I don't know when. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stop completely driving for Uber. I would like to drive again. However, it is what it is, and under the certain circumstances, Lyft it is. But I do try and stay current in the current events and the happenings in the wacky world of Lyft and Uber. And so much has been going on for both of them. Uber's been a busy little bee this week. Busy. They have gone into effect with their new policy regarding banning passengers who have low ratings. And today, I believe it's today, or not, it's sometime this week as well. Uber is now, for those premium passengers, those who like that star treatment, who use the Uber Black service, you have the option of sending little notifications to your driver via the passenger app. What am I talking about, you say? I am referring to Zen mode. Everything Zen. As a driver, I would like to be able to have a Zen mode that we can notify a passenger with. Now, the Zen mode basically is just giving this little heads-up message to the driver saying, I would like and prefer some quiet time while I'm in your vehicle. Or maybe in one of those little messages beforehand saying, hey, I'm going to need a little extra time getting to the car, or I'm going to need some help with luggage, or even while in the car saying it's a little too cold back here. a little too warm back here. And they can do it through automated messages in their app, their passenger app, to the driver, especially if they're in a situation where they're engaged in conversation or reading an email, whatever their circumstance is. As a driver, like I said, there's certain passengers I would like to be able to mute as well. Drivers, do you feel me? Yes. However, that could backfire on my end. Yeah. So you do have to be careful what you wish for. But in an ideal world, in a utopian world, you wouldn't have to use this function of Zen mode. In the real world, yeah, I would like to be able to just tell my passenger that, shh, I need to focus on my driving, and your incessant chitter-chatter is a distraction. But we can't do that because, of course, it can be construed or conveyed to the passenger who can take it in the wrong context. And I'm like, seriously, people, get over yourselves. Quit being so hypersensitive. But that, of course, is a whole nother chapter and topic. However, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. This does pertain to etiquette. This is all about etiquette. Being respectful of who is in your car, whether you are a driver or a passenger. So drivers, don't start out with like, so, where are you from? I know some drivers are like that. They want to get to know their passenger. Passengers are like that. They want to get to know their driver. There's diplomatic and tactful ways to find out from your passenger a little bit about them without sounding intrusive, invasive, too inquisitive, too personal, and downright creepy. Let that passenger introduce that subject to you if they choose so. Don't come out and be forthright and ask your passenger, so, you new here? Where are you from? And maybe you want to know. Well, just, inquiring minds want to know. I got it. But understand your passenger may not want to give up that that information because maybe they just don't. And you have to respect that. And passengers on the same end, you don't need to sit there and know in-depth insider information all about your driver. Now, I do have passengers who, as soon as they get in my car, they want to know about their driver. They like to talk to their driver, and they will even tell you, yeah, I like to start talking to my driver and asking them questions because I want to get to know my driver. That's okay to a point. Sometimes you are, without trying to come across in this manner, your intentions on your end could be well thought, good intentions. However, on the driver's end, the driver can find you to be just too nosy. Where the driver's like, yeah, I don't need to tell you everything about me. I would like to keep some things private. And passengers, on the other hand, drivers would like to keep some things private. So what do you touch upon? What do you discuss? Well, it's going back to small talk etiquette, and it's in the Uber and Lyft community guidelines. There's certain subjects that, yeah, let's discuss, and other subjects, stay away from. Religions and politics, that's one subject that I can't say is taboo, but you're not going to find everyone open, receptive to discussing religion and politics in the backseat of a car with a complete stranger. And then on the other hand, you're going to find drivers and passengers who do want to discuss religion and politics. Technically, as far as etiquette is concerned, yeah, shy away from that. As in all honesty, shy away from that. They can be controversial. You can end up getting into arguments, and don't go down that rabbit hole. They always recommend you talk about current events. Well, you almost have to put a filter on things and realize that Maybe your passenger doesn't want to talk about Brexit. Maybe your passenger isn't really in the mood to discuss immigration laws. Or maybe your passenger just doesn't want to talk. It's kind of hard to get a read on a passenger sometimes, and there are times too when, as a driver, you're going to get a passenger who that's all they want to talk about. That's where I would like to have that little mute button. Just kind of say, hey, either please change the subject or give yourself a chance to take a breath so I can focus on my driving. Because in all honesty, your incessant chatter is a distraction. Now, of course, I wouldn't word it in that manner, but I sure do think it from time to time. Yeah, but of course, again, once I said this could backfire. So, passengers, drivers, what do you think? Is having a Zen mode a good idea? Should all Ubers and Lyfts, as far as drivers and passengers, have this function and feature? Now, in all honesty, from the article I'm reading on Vox, which was written on May 15, 2019, and references to an article written in July of 2018 on The Verge, and I will put links below in this comment box, it's not going to be available for every and all passenger/driver. I guess in the long run that can be a good thing, because you can also have a passenger who's going to keep hitting that button to the point where you're like, enough already. Or they're going to totally ignore your request, or just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, I'll shut up now. Sorry. Yeah. Lyft is considering it. I haven't read anything where it's actually going to go into effect as of yet. But passengers that use Lyft and drivers who drive for Lyft, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but passengers now can leave pickup notes directly within the Lyft passenger app on the driver's end. On your driver app, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little cartoon box. It's solid black. Tap on that, and then you're going to have a whole nother dialog box open up. It's going to be redirected to this dialog box saying pickup notes, and then it will let you know what pickup notes your passenger has left. As far as passenger goes, this is a great way to communicate to your driver ahead of time your personal preferences, and it's might make your ride a lot more pleasurable. Okay, well, that's about all the time we have for today, because I do want to get out. I do want to drive. It's after 3 o'clock. And like I said, will leave a link below about the article I read on Vox. So, please like, comment, subscribe, share, rate my podcasts. All podcasts on the Rideshare Etiquette are available for download. If you can't find me on certain apps who have podcasting, let me tell you where you will find my podcasts. My podcasts can be heard on Google Podcast, Castbox, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Spreaker. Currently, I am working on iHeartRadio. We'll find out if my podcast will be reviewed. Download my podcast on iTunes Store. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Be safe. Peace, love, woof.